Colin Kaepernick, the man that quote-unquote caps every time that he speaks about his interest in the NFL. For the people that do not know what the word cap means, that is slang term for what lie is. This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Colin Kaepernick being desperate, again, to remain relevant in the NFL. Despite not playing in the NFL since the 2016 NFL season, Colin Kaepernick has expressed interest in returning to the NFL as he wants the New York Jets to go ahead and sign him. However, that proposal is laughably ridiculous as the Jets are not even thinking about signing a quarterback at the moment. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So here it is. How much of a fool is Colin Kaepernick making himself look right now? The answer to that question is a lot. Colin Kaepernick has looked tremendously foolish for how he has handled his post-NFL life. Look, Colin, I get it. You used to be an NFL quarterback that was really good at what you did. You were really good in 2012 and 2013. Outside of those 2 years, though, what were you? You weren't anything in the NFL. Colin Kaepernick was not a winner after the 2013 NFL season. Colin Kaepernick became a distraction. Colin Kaepernick on the football field was not really that good of a passer to begin with, and then his skills deteriorated in his later seasons. Look, Colin, nobody wants to sign a guy that hasn't played in the NFL since 2016. It's not even just because of that either. Nobody wants to sign a guy that's going to serve as a distraction. I remember Colin Kaepernick around 2017. He wanted an NFL team to sign him so desperately that he tried to scream the victim card. What was the victim card, you may ask? The victim card that he was trying to bring up was that he was African American and that, oh, I'm black, you need to go ahead and sign a black quarterback. Oh my goodness, you are racist if you don't sign a black QB. That's what Colin Kaepernick was trying to do, man. And I remember NFL teams was like, yeah, we're not going to have that distraction out there. We're going to go ahead and sign some other quarterbacks. We're going to go ahead and sign a Josh Johnson. We're going to go ahead and sign a Josh McCown. We're going to go ahead and sign a Ryan Fitzpatrick. We don't need to deal with the distraction. Look, Colin Kaepernick, we get it. You appeared in the Super Bowl. You made 2 NFC championship games. You know who else also accomplished something similar to Colin Kaepernick? Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez has been to 2 AFC championship games for the New York Jets, but I don't recall anybody trying to get Mark Sanchez in free agency and then Mark Sanchez throwing up a stink. I don't recall Mark Sanchez playing the victim card saying, oh, I'm a Hispanic quarterback. Oh, you need to go ahead and sign me because we need more diversification in the NFL room. We need Hispanic quarterbacks. Oh, we need more diversification in that area. I don't recall him doing that. But Colin Kaepernick, this is exactly what he does. Colin Kaepernick is a master manipulator. This man plays the victim card more than any other quarterback that I have ever seen. And this guy is an activist trying to predicate himself as a professional football player, even though he has not played in the NFL for 7 years. Look, I'm getting sick and tired of hearing about Colin Kaepernick all the time in the news. Remember the time he knelt for the national anthem and he wanted everybody to feel sorry for Colin Kaepernick and play the victim card? Yeah, I remember that. And he was saying, oh, look at me. I'm no longer an NFL starter. I'm going to go ahead and kneel. And I get that he was trying to do that for activism and everything like that, but it was a ploy. If Colin Kaepernick was a true activist, he would try to advocate for more change. He wouldn't go out there and constantly hide and be this passive aggressive dude. Colin Kaepernick acts way too much like a beta male, and he is weak. Look, the New York Jets would be better off if they had called up Luke Falk out of retirement. For the people that don't know who Luke Falk was, he was a former NFL quarterback that played for the New York Jets in 2019. I understand that Luke Falk was a terrible quarterback when he played in the NFL, but if I'm the New York Jets, I'd call up Luke Falk before I call up Colin Kaepernick. You know why? Because at least Luke Falk doesn't serve as a distraction. At least Luke Falk follows instructions from his coaches. At least Luke Falk is a good teammate. Colin Kaepernick is not a good teammate whatsoever. This dude is a diva. He is selfish. He has no interest in trying to help out the team whatsoever. He is all about himself in the brand. A guy like Luke Falk, hey, at least he can be able to get along with his teammates pretty well, and he can at least follow instructions from the coaches. Yeah, I know that he was trash when he played in the NFL, but I got to go ahead and defend my guy Luke Falk because of the fact that he is a really good quarterbacks coach at a Division II school. I mean, I got to obviously shout him out. Me and him, we've gotten to know each other really well, but the point of the story is that Luke Falk being better than Colin Kaepernick, yeah, that's not necessarily true, but I would rather have Luke Falk than I would have Colin Kaepernick because of the fact that Luke Falk doesn't serve as a distraction in the locker room compared to Colin Kaepernick. At least if Luke Falk came in, he could put in the work and he can swing the ball a little bit. Okay, I'm just kidding about that because he's been out of the NFL since 2019. But the point is, he has played more NFL football more recently than Colin Kaepernick. I would rather sign Luke Falk than get Colin Kaepernick in free agency. That's how bad Colin Kaepernick has gotten. Colin Kaepernick has not played played in the NFL in that long, and I highly doubt that he could even return back to NFL form. You know how hard it is to return back to NFL form in just one training camp if you miss out on it? And the fact that this dude has missed out on 7 years and then says, oh yeah, I could definitely come back in the NFL. I could definitely do some of what these guys are doing. You know how arrogant you have to be to think like that? And Colin Kaepernick, this is the problem that I have with him. It's the fact that he constantly thinks from a selfish and naive worldview. This is the issue that I have with Colin Kaepernick right here. Now, as far as what the Jets should do at quarterback, I honestly think they should stick with Zach Wilson as their quarterback one. Look, I'm not saying Zach Wilson is a good quarterback whatsoever. I don't even think he's a game manager. But the New York Jets have got to meet up with Zach Wilson and say this to him. Look, man, go play the Trent Dilfer role. Go be the guy that scores on the opening drive, score in 2 minutes, and then score on one other drive the rest of the game, and then get out of the way. Tell Zach Wilson that you got to find a way to put up 17 points on the board. If you can put up 17 points on the board, we're going to have chances to win football games because we got an elite defense. We've got an elite wide receiver one in Garrett Wilson. We got two good running backs in Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook. We got a good head coach in Robert Saleh. All you got to do is score 17 points a game. If you can do that, we'll win games more often than not. So if I'm the New York Jets, I go ahead and stick with Zach Wilson because of the fact that he's been with the Jets this entire offseason, because of the fact that he can ask Aaron Rodgers for help if he doesn't get going, because Zach Wilson views Aaron Rodgers as his idol and that he probably respects Aaron Rodgers more than some of these other coaches. So I think that if you're the New York Jets, you got to stick with Zach Wilson at QB1. But if you don't want to stick with him, I mean, there's obviously options in the free agency pool. You could get Matt Ryan out of retirement. You could sign Carson Wentz. You could even sign Cam Newton. But honestly, I wouldn't even do that because Matt Ryan, he's been washed. He hasn't made the playoffs since 2017. And then, of course, signing Carson Wentz would be a terrible idea. He hasn't really been good in several years. And then signing Cam Newton. I love my guy, Cam Newton. You used to be a former MVP, but you haven't been a great player since 2015 either. So as far as the free agency pool, I'm out on that. Now, as far as what they could do in the trade market, okay, maybe they could trade for Jacoby Brissett or for Jameis Winston. Look, the Saints, they already got a veteran starter in Derek Carr where most people could say, okay, he's a top 16 NFL starter. So a guy like Jameis Winston, who is somewhat of a starting caliber quarterback, he's now regulated to a backup role. And honestly, the Saints might not be able to need him necessarily. They might be able to say, you know what? Yeah, we can go ahead and trade Jameis Winston as long as you give us a day 2 pick or something like that. And if you're the Jets, you can get Jameis Winston because he's going to get Garrett Wilson the football. He's going to feed those guys the football. Yeah, he might throw a ton of interceptions too, but he would at least make football in New York entertaining. So I think that could be a potential option. And then, of course, there's the option of trading for Jacoby Brissett. Right now, he is the backup quarterback for the Commanders. Jacoby Brissett is a solid backup. He can come in, play some solid football for the Jets. However, I don't think the Commanders would be willing to trade Jacoby Brissett because of the fact that he is one of the best backups in football, and they know that is a valuable commodity in the NFL. So I think the Commanders are going to go ahead and keep Jacoby Brissett. So as far as the realistic options for what the Jets could do at quarterback, for now, stick with Zach Wilson as your quarterback one. I think Zach Wilson would be a far better option than the other options on the Jets. As far as Colin Kaepernick trying to remain relevant, yeah, sorry, buddy. Stop playing the victim card. Get over with yourself and accept your fate in the NFL. You had a good moment in the NFL, but you know what? You're not at that moment anymore. You're a has-been. You're not that good anymore. I'm looking at this guy. He's an NFL insider. His name is George Schultz. He tweeted 2 things about Colin Kaepernick. The first tweet says, quote, I just spoke with Colin Kaepernick, who tells me his agent has reached out to the Jets about his desire to make an NFL return. Kaepernick remains on the West Coast working out. My response to that tweet is, so what if he is working out on the West Coast? Who cares? A random dude could be working out on the West Coast. It means nothing to me. And Colin Kaepernick is using the NFL to remain relevant in society because of the fact that Colin Kaepernick is a nobody that is using the NFL to promote his brand, whatever his brand is, and that we know that Colin Kaepernick is not really interested in playing football whatsoever, and that he's more interested in being a low-key activist rather than being an NFL quarterback. Even if he was interested in being an NFL quarterback, he hasn't played in the NFL since 2016, which means that there is no way that Colin Kaepernick could be in shape to play NFL football, at least in 2023. And then, of course, the second tweet says, just received this text from Colin Kaepernick. I just need a shot. My response to that is, what shot, Colin? What are you talking about? Why would a team give you a shot? At what expense? So they can go ahead and have you blame them whenever you fail because that's what you do. Whenever the going gets tough, you just blame other people instead of taking accountability. They already got a quarterback on their roster that lacks accountability in himself. That's Zach Wilson, who I'm talking about. They don't need another guy not taking accountability on the football field whatsoever. Look, Colin Kaepernick is just some dude that saw Aaron Rodgers tear his Achilles and is now using that opportunity to remain relevant in the news. Colin Kaepernick, he is honestly ashamed to even talk about. I hope I don't have to talk about Colin Kaepernick again, but I talked about him because of the fact that I want you guys to be aware about how much of an attention-seeking fool that Colin Kaepernick is. So that is why Colin Kaepernick is making himself look like an absolute idiot for his quote-unquote interest in returning to the NFL. lifestyle. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @Dustin Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @Dustin Tran and Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @Dustin Tran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.